Donald Trump just brokered peace between Israel and Hamas, something no president has done in decades. But before the applause could even start, he turned it into a campaign of revenge. Trump deserves credit for one thing: stopping a war. 48 hostages were released. The guns went silent. A fragile ceasefire, one that almost no one believed could happen, actually did. It was real. It was news. It was history. But then he did what Trump always does. He couldn't leave it at peace. He had to make it about power. Because just hours after the Gaza ceasefire announcement, Trump's Justice Department dropped a political bombshell. Letitia James, New York's Attorney General, was indicted for mortgage fraud. The same Letitia James who built her career holding Trump accountable. The same woman who took him to court for fraud and won. Coincidence? Not a chance. This isn't leadership, it's retribution, dressed up as justice. Yes, the ceasefire is monumental, but let's not pretend this is the whole story. Trump's allies are already spinning it as proof of his world-class diplomacy. They're flooding the airwaves claiming only Trump could bring peace to Gaza. Really? Because behind the headlines are questions, big, ugly questions about what happens next. Who will control Gaza now that much of it lies in ruins? Are the weapons truly gone? Has Hamas actually disarmed or just gone underground waiting to strike again? These are the parts Trump doesn't talk about, the parts where peace becomes politics, where people still bleed while politicians brag. And while the world watched him take a victory lap, his White House was quietly reshaping the Department of Justice, replacing career prosecutors with loyalists. Hand-picked insiders like Lindsay Halligan, a Trump aide with zero prosecution experience, were suddenly in charge of decisions that could destroy people's lives. It wasn't about justice. It was about revenge. That's not diplomacy, that's dictatorship energy. And this is the pattern we've seen again and again with Trump. He builds something up, then burns it down. He wins a round, then poisons the victory. They say power reveals character. Well, Trump's peace deal revealed something dark. He sees peace as leverage, revenge as policy, and justice as a weapon. And when the media hesitated, when anchors looked uncomfortable giving him credit, it wasn't bias, it was recognition. They've seen this movie before. Remember the Abraham Accords, the handshakes, the headlines, the hype? Trump called it historic peace, but one by one, those deals unraveled into chaos and corruption. Because Trump doesn't build coalitions, he builds cults. And when the spotlight fades, so does the illusion. Now, Letitia James, the woman who called him illegitimate, who proved he inflated assets and lied to banks, finds herself facing charges from Trump's own Justice Department, a DOJ now run by people who pledged loyalty not to the law, but to him. Let's not sugarcoat this. It's payback, pure and simple. Trump even wrote a memo calling her guilty as hell. He said it would stay secret, but it didn't, because the truth always leaks through. And when it does, it exposes the rot beneath the surface. Career prosecutors had already declined to charge James. Not enough evidence, they said. But Trump replaced them, and suddenly, boom, an indictment. That's not justice. That's vengeance with a presidential seal. It's a chilling message to every critic, every journalist, every judge who's dared to challenge him. Cross me and I'll destroy you. And that's exactly what makes this so dangerous, because Trump doesn't just want to win, he wants to rewrite the rules so no one else can. So what do we really have here? A president who may have ended a war overseas, but started a new one here at home against democracy itself. A man who can make peace in the Middle East, but can't make peace with the truth. A man who can silence rockets, but not his own rage. The media will cover the ceasefire. They'll praise the opt-out CS, but they'll miss the deeper story. Trump's world is peace built on punishment, because while he's smiling for cameras, he's building a government where every critic becomes a criminal, every opponent becomes an enemy, and every victory comes with a threat. So yes, give him credit for the ceasefire, but don't give him a free pass for corruption. Because this isn't just about Gaza, it's about us. If a president can use peace to justify persecution, if justice becomes just another campaign weapon, then democracy itself is the next hostage. They lied, they cheated, they weaponized the system, and they thought no one would notice. But we did, and we won't back down. Not now, not ever. Because the fight for truth doesn't stop when the war ends. It starts when they try to rewrite what really happened. This moment, this story, isn't about foreign diplomacy. It's about what kind of country we're becoming. Whether we're a democracy that values accountability or an empire that worships one man. We've seen what happens when power goes unchecked, when truth becomes negotiable, and when fear replaces freedom. That's why we speak up. That's why we fight back. Because the truth matters, and democracy doesn't defend itself,